In the previous chapter, we talked about our achievements and the understanding and cultivation of our superpowers to help us build confidence and learn to celebrate our successes. Now, we're going to talk about those inner voices that may crop up from time to time, or perhaps hang around in our heads a lot of the time, that prevent us from achieving our full potential and get in the way of that success. Self-limiting beliefs are the words or phrases that somewhere inside us prevent us from being happy, fulfilled, successful, and can stop us from following our dreams and goals. They are the assumptions or perceptions that we've got about ourselves and about the way the world works. These assumptions are self-limiting because in some way they're holding us back from achieving what we are capable of. Maybe these examples ring a bell for you. It was only luck that went well. As long as you come out on top. Finish it up. There are thousands of starving in the world. You'll never get a job like that. We're going to look at 3 different types of limiting beliefs and some of the things that may cause them. Identify any beliefs we have working through our own experiences and, of course, providing some strategies to help us overcome them. You can normally break down self-limiting beliefs into these 3 areas. The ones about yourself, they often cause you to feel you can't do something because there's something wrong with you. Those about the world cause you to feel like you can't do something because no one will let you. And those about life make you think that you can't do something because it's too difficult. Let's look at them individually. The limiting beliefs that have the most significant impact on us are about ourselves and often are formed from a very early age, based on our experiences and shaped by our parents or other significant figures in our lives. I once interviewed a really successful businesswoman who recounted a story of being asked at a very young age a really simple maths problem by her brothers. Because it was so easy, she thought there must be a catch, and so she said she didn't know. This resulted in her brothers repeatedly saying that she was rubbish at maths, and she grew up believing this and the fact that she was stupid, contrary to all the evidence around her. Research suggests that our brains don't like to be wrong, so once we've formed a belief, we tend to look for more evidence to support it, and may go on to discount contradictory evidence. Those core beliefs formed as children can be really powerful, even in the face of different explanations or experiences, and we often cling to those old beliefs. That may give us some stability in the big, wide, confusing world, but it means that those long-held beliefs can be really hard to shake off. The limiting belief about age always interests me, as different people will use their age to suggest they're either too old or too young to apply for jobs. In reality, it's just an excuse not to do something they want to do. As I am very fond of saying, nothing holds us back more than those beliefs we hold about ourselves. These beliefs can especially impact on women. This is one of my favourite books. The title is a metaphor for achieving the career success you want, and it tackles head-on the importance of taking control of your business or career and building your self-confidence. Just as I was saying in the previous slide about those messages from childhood, I was brought up hearing little girls should be seen and not heard. And whilst I'd hope that those types of comments are not made to young girls or boys these days by their parents, there is plenty of research around that suggests that those old-fashioned expectations of women in the workplace or in business, such as being nice, not being boastful, or heaven forbid being aggressive, still exist today. And this gives even more weight to those beliefs we've brought with us from childhood. In this quote from the author Lois Frankel, she suggests, as do many researchers, that this stereotypical message is reinforced through the media, family and friends, and these days to a large degree by social media. But limiting beliefs aren't only about ourselves. We also take on board many incorrect beliefs about the world. Probably one of the most common external limiting beliefs is our thinking about what other people will and won't allow us to do. If you're considering doing something and your first thought is, what would people think? You've probably already lost. The truth is more likely to be that Actually, people don't care nearly as much as we think they do. They're far too busy worrying about their own lives to worry about us. More importantly, though, if they don't approve of what you're doing, so what? It's your life, not theirs. Another common theme I hear, and particularly from women, relates to discrimination, which sadly does still exist. The reality is that some people are racist, sexist, homophobic, and more. Of course, it's important to know and understand these realities, but should you allow them to prevent you from achieving your best? Yes, maybe women are talked over more often, but that doesn't mean that this will necessarily happen to you. Besides, the only way to overcome these prejudices in society is for individuals to stand up for themselves. Why not be that person? If not standing up for yourself, what about standing up for others? The final self-limiting belief is about our expectations about what is achievable in life. Too often, these result in us giving up before we start, particularly in the business world, with beliefs like, someone else has already had that idea, or been successful in that area. Yes, they may well have, but they won't have done it like you could. And with all the people on the planet, there is definitely enough to go around for everyone, whether that's money, ideas, time, whatever it is. Beliefs about how much time we have or have not are very common. Usually when talking about major lifestyle changes, we just don't have the time. In reality, it's more likely that we don't really want to commit to do that. We're safe in our comfort zone, not rocking the boat. But I am sure we all know people who have made significant changes to their lifestyle, despite amazingly hectic schedules. If we want something enough, we can make the time to achieve it. One of the most difficult beliefs to shake is the belief that something exists that actually doesn't. We believe what we repeatedly tell ourselves. I know people who think that anyone who talks to them is only doing so because they want something, or they think that everyone is out to take advantage of them. Inevitably, this results in an inability to trust others and getting trapped in that vicious circle. They're unable to see how wrong that belief is. Before we look at the strategies to help conquer these beliefs, let's identify any beliefs that could be impacting on you. Most limiting beliefs are subconscious, so it may take a while to uncover them, or you may know them clearly already. If you have self-limiting thoughts, though, but are not clear on what they might be, there are some strategies here you can use to discover your own self-limiting beliefs. Do you set goals or resolutions around New Year and within about 4 weeks many of them remain unfulfilled? Do you beat yourselves up over the lack of willpower and start the cycle all over again the next year? It could be that limiting beliefs are holding you back from achieving your goals. So let's try to analyse what went wrong. Here are some questions you can ask yourself and make notes in your workbook. Were your goals realistic? If so, why didn't you meet them? Was it due to external factors, or your own behaviour, or a combination? Focus in your actions. What could have you done differently? Why didn't you do it at the time? What outcomes were you most afraid of or worried about? What patterns can you observe? The times when you felt blocked or stalled, what is it that prevents you from taking action? What stories do you tell yourself? Continue asking yourself these types of questions. We're trying to find any hidden causes of your previous behaviour. These types of questions can also help now if you find yourself struggling with a current project or goal. Really helpful coaching style questions. Make notes in your workbook without any judgment. Think of it as if it were your best friend asking for advice. What questions would you want answers to? As we discovered in the first section, many of our self-limiting beliefs are formed early in life. So the next step is to go back in time and make notes on your early experiences and belief formation. At first, just describe your upbringing. What were your parents or guardians like? What were their values? What did they teach you about the world? What did you learn from them about things like taking risks versus being safe? What's possible in life and what isn't? what you're capable of and what you're not. What about your wider environment like school, extended family, local community? Were you ever told things like, girls don't do X? Or my little girl should be seen and not heard? Pride comes before a fall. Did you feel confident or lacking in confidence? Or did you feel confident in some areas but not others? Which ones? Again, these are just some questions to get you started. But try to continue and ask yourself as many as you can, making notes in your workbook. The idea is to get a clear picture of the environment you grew up in and how it shaped your belief formation. Once you've finished, try to look for patterns between the two sets of notes. Compare. See if you can find some causes and effects. What early beliefs might you still hold, and how could they explain some of the actions you're taking today? Could any of them be limiting beliefs that no longer serve you? Could they be responsible for the problems you identified in that early analysis? As I mentioned, self-limiting beliefs can be hard to identify, so you may need more time. Use the sorts of questions that I've said to get you started. The process may take a little longer. And please, do consider seeking the help of a professional if you've had a difficult childhood and travelling back in time raises issues for you. This is not something you've got to do alone. So page 2 of your workbook has space to write down any limiting beliefs you may have identified, whether they're constant or just pop up in particular situations. It may help to think about them in the individual areas we discussed. Write them down. Congratulations. There's a lot of hard work in these exercises. This is what we've covered already. 3 types of beliefs. Those limiting beliefs about yourself, the world, your life. We've looked at finding unhelpful beliefs and understanding what they are. So take a break now, and then when you're ready, you can start the exciting part, changing those beliefs into positive ones that will serve you well in the future. Well done.